stai? go?
Yep.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Lovely to see everyone. We will begin our service this evening with a nigun, a yai lai lai melody. I invite you all to join me in singing. Yai la la lai 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 lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai 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 lai. Yai la 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 lai lai lai. Yai la la lai 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 lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai 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 lai. Yai la 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 lai lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai lai lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai lai lai. Yai la la lai 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 lai. Yai la la lai 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 la lai. Yai la la lai 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 lai. Yai la la lai lai lai.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome. Welcome to all of you joining us here in our sanctuary, and welcome to those of us who are joining us online via our live stream. It is so wonderful to welcome in Shabbat with all of you. Tonight, our Shabbat is called Shabbat Shirah, Shabbat of Song. It's called this because this Shabbat is the Shabbat that we read the Song of the Sea, the section of the book of Exodus where it details the Israelites' journey out of Egypt and into freedom. And of course, as they journey through the parted sea and they get to the other side, they sing. They sing a song. So we call it Shabbat Shirah, a Shabbat of song, because this is the song that our people sang as they journeyed out of Egypt and into freedom. And so tonight we will, just as we usually do, but even more so this evening, sing as we welcome in Shabbat and think about our own song of freedom. How do each of us in our lives, in our everyday lives, and especially tonight, sing a song of freedom? How do we recognize the miracles that exist around us and what allows us to be free? So we'll turn to the welcoming of Shabbat with lighting our Shabbat candles on page 2.
Please join me in singing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We'll turn to page 11 as we welcome in Shabbat with our Kabbalat Shabbat, the receiving of Shabbat. We look at the top of the page, Dodi Li, from the Song of Songs. My beloved is mine, and I am my beloved.
Mi
We turn to page 13, Shiru Ladonai, the same root as the word Shirah. We sing unto God a new song.
Shiru Ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, shir chadash. Shiru Ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, shir chadash. Shir chadash. Shir chadash.
We turn to page 20, L'chadodi, as we welcome in our Sabbath bride.
We'll use the refrain at the top of page 20 as well as verses 1, 2, and at the bottom of page 21, verse 9. Please join us in singing. L'chadodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, nikavla. L'chadodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, nikavla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, v'shemo tiferet v'nitchila. L'chadodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, nikavla. L'chadodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, nikavla. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha. Merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila. L'chadodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, nikavla. L'chadodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, nikavla. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, kam v'simcha u'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, l'chadodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, nikavla. L'chadodi, likrat
The book of Exodus is the start of the people of Israelites' journey as not just a group of slaves, but becoming a group of people, a nation. And so tonight, as we enter into our Baruch Hu, our call together as one community in prayer, I'll invite you to introduce you to the people around you. Introduce yourselves, say hello as we join together, not just as individuals who are in the room together, but as one people in prayer. So take a moment, say Shabbat Shalom, introduce yourselves, and we'll rise for Baruch Hu. When you're ready, we'll rise in body or spirit on page 28, the words of Baruch Hu. You may be seated. We'll read together on the bottom of page 29. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. O let our desire to be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory of joy of your presence. We turn to page 34, Shema Yisrael, the declaration that God is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We continue on page 36 with a melody with an English interpretation of the Ve'ahavta.
Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise.
As I shared earlier, tonight is Shabbat Shirah, the night before we read from our Torah scroll of the Song of the Sea, the moment that we say every day in our liturgy of Mi Chamocha. That is part of the Song of the Sea that we will chant tomorrow from our Torah. And so tonight on Shabbat Shirah, we remember that moment of freedom. And we are taught that we are supposed to remember Egypt as if we were the ones who were enslaved in Egypt. And so too should we remember what that moment of freedom feels like. And we do that each and every time that we sing these words, the words of Mi Chamocha, page 40.
Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'amenu, ze'eli anu ve'amenu.
On page 42, our prayer, Hashkivenu, we pray that God spreads a shelter of peace over us, over all of Israel, and over the entire world. Please sing with us.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha hashkivenu hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Sukkot shlomecha ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom.
We turn now to our Amidah, our standing prayer or our tefillah section of our service. We're on page 46. You may rise in body or spirit. Adonai safatai tiftach ufi yagid hilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 48. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh HaAkol, Vezocher Chazdei Avot V'imachot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah.
Page 52. We'll read together in the middle of the page. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. We'll continue on 53 in the middle of the page with a beautiful poem. Where might I go to find you, exalted, hidden one?
Yana emsacha mekomecha na'ala v'ne'elam ve'ana lo emsacha kevodcha malei olam Yana emsacha mekomecha na'ala v'ne'elam ve'ana lo emsacha kevodcha malei olam darashti kirvatcha bechol libi keraticha uvtzeiti likratcha likrati metzaticha Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yana emsacha mekomecha na'ala v'ne'elam ve'ana lo emsacha kevodcha malei olam.
pause now for a moment of our own prayer and reflection. You can use the words of the prayer book or the prayers of your own hearts. We'll join together again on page 62.
In the middle of the page, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, vegoali, vegoali, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, vegoali, vegoali.
It's customary that we take a moment in our service to offer what we call mishaberach. Mishaberach is a blessing. And we use this blessing for different moments. And we've come to know this blessing, the mishaberach, as a blessing particularly for healing. And tonight we will offer these words for anyone who is feeling that they are in need of healing, whether it be healing of our body, of our mind, of our spirit. We hold in our hearts anyone that we are thinking of and praying for who is in need of healing. Page 253. We especially remember this evening Alicia Greenspan. If you are thinking of others, hold their names in your hearts. We'll join together, page 253.
Source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Sometimes, as a rabbi, our job can be challenging. What do we say when we get up here each week? What do we teach to our community? And sometimes the message seems so clear in a given week, and other times it's harder to connect with whatever that message might be. This week, I don't want to say it felt easier, because I don't think it's easy, but it seemed certain that I would speak about Israel. As many of you have likely heard or read in our news, protests in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and around the world have been highlighted over the past few weeks. Israelis, Israeli expats, as well as many Jews and Jewish communities around the world have joined together to protest the Israeli Prime Minister's proposed changes that would cripple Israel's High Court of Justice and give more power to the majority government, essentially crippling Israel's democracy. Many people in Israel and abroad are disturbed by the plans of Netanyahu's judicial minister, which include the governing majority, which would be allowed to decide upon judges. The majority can overrule any of the basic law, which means that any legislation would be immune from judicial review. It would involve changes to election laws, as well as statutes to take over media and military and police. With these changes, Israel would have the only democracy in the world that the political majority would have control over basically everything. There's a few important things to note when we're talking about Israel's democracy. First is that Israel is a parliamentary democracy. You see, Israel was meant to have a constitution, but the bottom line is, after many years of developing a potential constitution, which consists of what they call basic laws, there is no formal constitution in place. Second, unlike the United States, Israel has no second legislative body and no federal system or regional elections. And because Israel doesn't have some of these powerful checks and balances of other democracies, the proposed changes would effectively place much of the power in the hands of the prime minister. In an op-ed titled "An Open Letter to Israel's Friends in North America," 3 well-known authors warn, this crisis is unique and uniquely heartbreaking because it comes from within. Israel's government is moving to eviscerate the independence of our judiciary and remake the country's democratic identity. Israel's right-wing government and their proposed judicial reforms are alarming and threatening to Israel's democracy. We, Jews in the diaspora, part of the broader global Jewish community, must make it clear to the Israeli government and to those in Israel that we do not support such a drastic and hasty measures to change the makeup of Israel's judiciary and grant more power to the majority government. If you would like to make your voice known, please reach out to me. There's an opportunity through the Union for Reform Judaism to share our thoughts that will then be shared with those who are in power in Israel. And while we may not have voting power in Israel, and so much of what happens there is up to the people and the citizens of Israel, this is an issue that feels so important to make our voices known. And I think it's so important when speaking about Israel to express my great love for the land of Israel and the state of Israel. and to recognize that there are deeply troubling realities of the situation in Israel and Palestine. But I know for a fact that allowing Israel's democracy to be taken over by a right-wing government will only continue to add fuel to the flames and cause more harm to both the Israeli and Palestinian peoples, and continue to delay any hope for peace. As you know, this Shabbat is Shabbat Shirah, where we read from the Torah the Song of the Sea, the moment where the people of Israel journey out of Egypt to celebrate their freedom. And what more and how do we celebrate our freedom more than through democracy? Through the state of Israel, which over the past 74 years has been a haven to many Jews and to many others seeking refuge. And so on this Shabbat Shirah, we think of what it means to be free, and I hope that together we can join in making our voices heard as a Jewish diaspora, that democracy in the state of Israel is an essential part of who Israel is and who Israel should be in the future. Shabbat Shalom. We'll turn now to our concluding prayers on page 282. Please rise in body or spirit. Aleinu l'shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'titz gdula le'yotzeh breshit, shechulot hashamayim ve'osed aretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo b'govei meramim, hu Eloheinu einod, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287.
ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
Page 290. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. On this Shabbat, we remember Ann Bialis, Thomas Axelrod, Elaine A. Worth, Holland Hoberger, Henry Strauss, Herbert Bristol, Hazel Carlton, Jerome James Jerry Brosnan, Sidel Kushner, Sheila Siegel, Howard Goloy, Shirley Kohler, David Wishnick, Harold Lewis, Joshua Cohen, Matthew Cohen, Sylvia Palu, Simone Schofer, Ralph Marshall Gorin, Eli Fishman. Are there any other names that you would like to recall this evening? We join together in the words of Mourner's Kaddish, Kadisha Tome, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash me rabba, ba'alma divarach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayed chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mivarach le'olam ulmei alamaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitalev, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudasha, B'rechu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da miram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be an abiding blessing.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru, amen.
You may be seated. A quick reminder, we hope you will join us next week on Shabbat at 6 p.m. for our Shabbat service, as well as the installation of Missy Bell as our Director of Education here at Sukkot Shalom. And we hope you'll join us for dinner after as well. If you haven't registered for dinner yet, please do so online. We will conclude with our Kiddush and Motzi, and then there are some treats out in the lobby, so we hope you will stay and join us for Oneg Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Didn't get it done the first